Lord Michael Heseltine. Now, when I was about 5, I used to look at this guy and think, wow, look at his hair, look at his grumpy face, I bet he knows what he's talking about. Being only 5, and more politically astute back then than most of the general public are today, I was of course completely wrong, and have been proved so time and time again. But never more so than recently when Michael Heseltine came out and quite openly called UKIP racists.
Or do you want David Cameron?
So no deals.
Are you saying UKIP is racist?
Of course it's racist. Of course, who doubts that? The language, the rhetoric, the membership, who doubts it? Serious doubt.
Mr. Farage is racist?
I didn't say he was. I said his party is very attractive to a racist agenda. And everyone knows that.
What a complete fucking idiot. In an interview with the BBC, Lord, can you believe it, Heseltine, said of UKIP, of course it's racist. Who doubts that? Farage isn't racist, but his party is very attractive to a racist agenda. Whether they admit it or not, the Tories are shitting themselves about UKIP. They're now trying to roll out their perceived big guns to demonise them as much as they can. UKIP are racist because an old dinosaur has-been says so, and it's on the BBC, so it must be true. He dribbles on to say that the price of not voting Tory is getting Ed Miliband. You see, what this dinosaur doesn't get, and what he fails to grasp, is that people aren't voting for UKIP because they're racist. People are voting and supporting UKIP because they are sick to the back teeth of old political has-beens in the Tory party, like himself. People are sick to death of the likes of Ed Spitty Miliband, and people are fed up of amoebas like Nick Clegg running our lives. People have had enough. People want a change. They are voting for a change. Conservatives, Labour, Liberal Democrats, it doesn't matter what they say leading up to a general election. As soon as they get into power, they will go back on almost everything they've said and the agenda will just move forward. It's all just one big game to them. They're just one team. The Yellows, the Blues and the Reds, they're all one aspect of the same team. Now don't get me wrong, UKIP aren't perfect. They have their faults. However, they're a lot closer to the man on the street and a lot more streetwise than any of these has-been dinosaur politicians that get rolled out time and time again to demonise them. How can saying that the country is full and that we can't accept any more immigration be racist? How in any way, shape or form is that racist? It's simply a statement of fact. We are full. How can wanting to be able to govern ourselves be racist? How? How is that possible? 83% of our laws currently get dictated to us by the EU by unelected bureaucrats in Brussels. How is not wanting unelected bureaucrats in Brussels dictating to us racist? Unbelievable. Heseltine's a fucking idiot. Barroso has even come out and said, this was May 2013, that a federal Europe will be a reality in only a few years. How can not wanting to completely give up your sovereignty and your country's history and everything about your country to a bunch of bureaucrats, how is that racist? Honestly, how? Tell me. Michael Heseltine, Lord Heseltine, he has completely and utterly cemented my vote for UKIP for the European elections and the next general election. Establishment politicians are so arrogant, so narcissistic, they just think they can come out, wheel out their perceived big guns, and everybody will just fall for what they say, and that will be it, the end of UKIP. Well, look what happened when Ken Clarke demonised UKIP not so long ago, before the council elections. They jumped 3% in the polls. This ridiculous attack by Heseltine is going to have exactly the same effect. You are so out of touch, Tories, you really have no idea of the political landscape out there. Your efforts to demonise are childish, prehistoric, tired and pathetic, and we see right through you, you bunch of arseholes. And I want to tell you something here and now. There's a change coming. There is a change. You can feel it in the air. There's an uprising. People are now finding the confidence to talk about things which they never had before. The political Overton window is being stretched to what is acceptable to discuss. Just with 9/11, initially for the first few years you couldn't mention that it was an inside job. Now you can talk freely about it. People are starting to realise that the political establishment is history. They are there to destroy us. They are there to hand over, quite literally, all of our funds, all of our taxes, every bit of penny they can to put us in debt slavery, and everything is going to the Rothschilds and the banks. It's an absolute outrage, but things are beginning to change. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's people like you, Heseltine, you will bear the brunt because you are a prehistoric, arrogant, narcissistic, floppy-haired muppet. And so far removed from the general public that you just have not got a clue about how they're feeling anymore. The Tories are panicking. They literally are panicking. They're pandering to UKIP voters. They're trying to win them back because they know this change is on the way. They're not stupid. They know. But rolling out perceived big guns like Michael Heseltine and Ken Clark to demonise UKIP is pathetic, childish and ridiculous. And it will backfire. You morons.